everyone, it's Rachel here. Welcome back to RachandBellaCrafts. I hope you're all well. Thanks for joining me today, and I just wanted to say a big thank you to all our new subscribers and also to our ongoing subscribers who have continued to follow our videos. Thank you so much for all your support and for all the lovely comments and the likes that you've been leaving, and all the comments on Facebook. It's really great to have so many people, so many of you supporting us, which has been really motivating. So today I'm going to do a quick video on my new CD cases that I've been working on. I've got a new design team project I'm working on this month for LineDotArrow, and I'm going to be using her Bohemian Dreams papers today to make our CD cases. Okay, so what I've done here is, well, pretty self-explanatory really. I've taken out the centerpiece of the CD case and I've replaced it with some printed vellum. This print in here is one of the pages from the kit, and I've also then covered the outer paper of the CD case and then just added an embellishment. So I've covered as well the flap on the pocket or envelope, and then it's entirely up to you then how you want to present that in your journal, whether you decide to stick it on and have it as a pocket, or if you want to use it as an envelope you can flop it over the page. What I did think after I'd done this one though was that it would have been so much nicer done on coffee dyed CD cases. So after finishing this one, oh, and then the bit that I cut out there as well, the circle I kept, and I made one of these little pockets with. Just wanted to let you know about that, so we don't want to waste anything. But what I then went and did was coffee dyed a whole load of them ready, which gives us this really nice crinkly texture to them. And then if you don't want to put anything on the back, then it doesn't matter because it's got that lovely coffee dye. Well, it's actually tea dyed. I've done these. Gives you that nice texture and colouring. So let's get started. First thing that I did, I've opened up the CD cases. So I've got 3 of them here, just so that you can see all these examples. So this is one that hasn't been tea dyed, which obviously lies nice and flat because it's not all crinkly from my oven. And these 2 have. And I simply just teased open these 2 edges here. Probably thinking about it in retrospect, the best time to have done that would have been while they were wet, because it probably would have opened up a lot easier then. But I didn't think of that at the time, and in the oven they went, and then of course they dried, but that was fine. So they came off fairly easily. And then the next thing that I did was to peel off all of the original plastic from the CD case, and that was a little easier with the coffee dye one because sometimes it gets a little bit it shrinks in the oven. Whilst removing it, I have got a couple of little tears in this paper, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be putting other sheets of paper over the top, so don't worry about that. It'll all be fine. There's going to be glue and everything going all over that, so that doesn't matter. It's really okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do, and I'm going to use this as my template for cutting the vellum and the paper, only because this is quite crinkled, and to try and use it as a template to draw around is going to be a little bit disproportionate, I think. So we'll come back to those in a second. So the first thing that I did was to take a sheet of vellum, and then using my little window, basically decide, obviously all according to the pattern that you've got on your paper. This is a lovely sheet here from the kit, and I've just printed it out onto a sheet of vellum. Now, obviously depending on what you're going to use on the outside, you might want to correspond the 2. I quite like that blue in there, but also I don't want to just chomp straight into the centre of the vellum sheet if I can help it. So I'll probably go with maybe that corner up there. Although that being said, that corner there is also quite nice. No, perhaps we'll use that one there. And then for the back end paper then, or in this case it'll be the front paper. Yeah, I've also got that same, this is the same paper you see that I've used here. So what I will try to do is to set the out of section on there, and then the circle bit then will be the bit that's inside. So it'll look like the whole picture, but actually part of it will be vellum and part of it will be paper. I hope that made sense. because I made that sound really complicated then, and it isn't. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, I'm just going to take, no, I'm not, I'm going to leave it, I've taken the white edge off. My printer always prints with the white edge. I've taken that off on here. I'm not going to worry about it on there because you're not going to see it, it'll be stuck inside. The first thing I'm going to do here is just to use the template and mark on my card or my paper how much I want to cut out. Don't forget, obviously we're going to be doing the flap, so make sure when you draw on your template, we're literally just going to draw around it. Just make sure that you include that in the shape. So let me just measure this out a second. So there's so much pressure doing measuring and cutting on live on screen, isn't there? And I don't know why, because you're not actually here watching me do it, but the pressure. Can I draw a straight line? Actually, it's not the drawing the straight line, it's the cutting the straight line that's the hardest bit. There we go. Okay, so let's just cut that out a second. I can see my pencil mark now. Yep, that looks about right there. I've gone a little askew there, but never mind. Okay, and then up here. And then just taper that off. There. Okay, so I'll shape it up afterwards when it's in place. Now the next thing that I need to do now is remove the circle. So for this, I'm just going to put this in place and open it up. So let's just make sure I cut that now so that there's plenty there. I know I've got to tidy it up after, but that's okay. As long as I haven't gone too short. Right, so that's fine. Yeah, okay, so that's all nice and neat there. That's all lined up there. I'll just trim that a bit later. So I'm going to take my pencil now, and inside I'm going to just draw around this circle here. Now, obviously, for those of you that have got a circle cutter, a big stampy thing, I don't know if they do them this big, I don't know. If they do, obviously that's probably the ideal thing to use. I don't have one of those, so I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. But I want to use the circle that I cut out, so I'm going to try and get in there really carefully and just make a small snip so that I can use this circle then later on. So if I can just try and get nice and close in there. There we go. Okay, and we're in. And then just using the technique we used yesterday for cutting our circles, which is using big scissors and try to move the scissors, not the paper. Okay, let's see if we can get us go around there. That's great. Okie dokie. Gone a bit over the line there, never mind. That'll be fine. Okay. And then round to the edge. And of course the tip that we did use yesterday for cutting circles is if you were actually cutting a circle out and you're a little bit unsure or your hand shakes like mine, you might want to use some serrated scissors or edging scissors because they're a bit more, you know, I'm using this book as my glue book and it's really not very appropriate because it's all about animal biology. So every time I open up a book page, it's got some gross diagram in there. Sorry, my son is stood here laughing at me now, thinking this is hysterical. I think it's actually an old school book of his, but there we are. He didn't want it. He doesn't need to learn animal biology. He's not becoming a vet. Thank you. Okay, well I'm using it now, so don't worry about it. Let's have a little look. Okay, there we go. Right, so let's just tidy that bit up there. And that looks okay. It's obviously a little bit of trial and error, so it's probably not the easiest process. Anybody that has got an easier way of doing this, don't be afraid to share that information because that would be great. But I'm probably making it look harder than it actually is because it's really not difficult. It's just I'm a bit khaki-handed. Okay, so remember not to glue it onto your template, which I thought I was going to do then. But that's fine. So we're just going to glue this up, and then we will stick it onto the coffee dye CD case, and then we'll get on with the next bit then. I did actually start this video, or prepped to start this video at like, my goodness, 9 o'clock this morning. It's now 6:30 here with me in the evening. Crazy day, but my oldest son today, very proud day today. He sat his second exam and he's now a level 2 qualified accountant. So we're very pleased. You're very happy today. So huge well done to my number 1. But lots of excitement. And then number 2 has got A level starting tomorrow. So lots going on, all serious stuff. It's all maths. Oh my goodness, just, I don't mind as long as they don't need my help, we'll be fine. Everything seems so complicated. Okay, let's have a little look now. So when I did this on the first one, I got a little bit off center, so just try and, before you tamp it right down, just try and make sure that you got it exactly where you want it. You might want to try easing it up. It's not the easiest thing in the world to glue onto when they're coffee dye, because they do get a bit flimsy. But again, because the page is now coffee dyed, what I do find is the paper is far more forgiving. So if for instance there I've cut that away, it doesn't matter, it's fine. It's coffee dyed, it just looks vintagey and a little bit ragged, which is basically what we're trying to achieve anyway, isn't it? So we're not going to stress too much. I'm just trying to ease this now onto here. Work out these creases a second, because again, everything with the coffee dye, it's not even coffee dye, it's tea dye, I don't know why I keep saying that. But everything with it, once it's been wet, the paper's always a bit more crinkly, isn't it? So there we go. And then what I'll just do then is just, well actually I'm not going to cut that into shape yet, because just let it dry. It's always so much easier to cut paper when it's not wet from the glue, isn't it? Okay, so that's that bit there done for a moment. So we'll come back to that in a second. So the next thing that we're going to do now is cut out the shape on our vellum. Sorry, I was looking at the I was just reading the words on there then thinking, yeah, I keep forgetting this is an animal biology book. I hope there's nothing gross on the page. Sorry, just zoned out then for a second. You know, you just have that panicky moment. You just suddenly think, oh my gosh, I got words on here now. What's on there? Because I'm not wearing my reading glasses. I found them a bit, they were spacing me out a bit when I was trying to see what I was doing. They're really strong. I'm going to have to ease my way into them a bit, I think. Because I had them on the other day when I was doing a video, and I felt like I needed to be sat at the back of the room, which is all way too close. Okay, so this is nice and easy to cut this one out, because we're literally just going to cut a square shape, and it just needs to sit inside of here, which is the glue zone, and at the bottom there. So let's just give that a quick chop across there. Hopefully it'll be kind of straight. But again, not worrying too much, because all of this is just for the gluing bit. And where's my line? There it is. Let's just cut that. So you're not going to see any of these edges, because they're all going to sit inside. I shouldn't say that. Mum would say, do it really neat. But no. Okay, so again, making sure we don't stick this on our template now. It needs to go inside of here. I'm just trying to and level that up a bit. All right, let's just double check now that it does fit in this one, because obviously this paper has shrunk a tad. Let's just take a little bit more off the bottom, otherwise that's going to get in the way. I did try doing one of these ones with the envelope still intact, and oh my goodness, I got in a mess. There was glue everywhere, and you know, trying to like get vellum down into the pocket, it was just not good. It was not a pretty sight. So when I kind of then cottoned on, oh yeah, I could take it apart. Oh my gosh, just so much easier. And like I say, don't worry if it just, you know, if something tears a little bit. Obviously don't go ripping it in half, but it's all being covered by additional layers anyway. So, you know, even if you put a bit of washi on it just to keep it in place until you can cover over the top. There's nothing that can't be fixed, is there? Right, make sure I got the right way around now. That's the pattern on the front, isn't it? Okay, and then we're just going to place that then onto our glue. Now the most important edge when we're gluing this is the top one, because obviously if you're putting items in as a pocket or envelope, you don't want it catching on anything there, so just make sure that's sealed nice and tight there. Put a bit more by there, and I think that's come look okay. Oh, needle back in there. Okay, so let's have a little look. There we go. Well, that wasn't too hard, was it? So let's just fold that over a minute. Fold that over. There we are. It's as simple as that. Now, obviously, that was a really quick demonstration. It's not as neat as it could have been, but you get the idea. It's the important thing. And so, obviously, now you can just go around and trim any edges that are hanging over, because of course we want this to be a nice usable pocket. And all I did with the last one then, because obviously we've got a double layer thing on this now, was just use my scoreboard, and where the flap of the envelope was, I just worked that back in again, just so that was nice and easy to fold, because obviously we've put an extra layer on there now, so that should go down there nicely now. And then we just need to glue the sides, and I don't know why I'm talking in a squeaky voice. What am I going to look for? Am I distressing? Oh my goodness. Do you know what? It is the bluest, most beautiful sky out of my window. It's really, really lovely just to have some blue sky. We've had, I think, almost 2.5 weeks of solid rain here in Wales. Rainstorms through which we've moved my parents. We just popped up there now to do a couple of things for them. I just popped up with the boys, and I said to them, I think this is the first time I visited her and it hasn't been raining. It is absolutely beautiful out there. There's a slight breeze, you know, it's not vest weather, but that's okay, it's only May. But oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Just so lovely to see a bit of blue sky. It does you the world of good, doesn't it? I'm very much the type of person that is, my mood comes from the weather. Usually because it means I'm aching or not, but yeah. If it's a blue sky, it really picks you up, doesn't it? There we go. So that's our sides glued back down. So just make sure that they're in. You do that with you didn't need to do that with Fabri-Tac. I don't know why I used that, but. And then the last thing we're going to do then is ink our edges, because that forgives everything. And then if you want to, you can then add some embellishment to the front. So obviously, depending on where you're going to put this and how full your journal already is, you can either add a scrap embellishment to the front, or a fabric snippet, or you could stitch some buttons down the edge, or you could use you know, a nice like butterfly. Goodness, if we were talking digitally, I'd call it clip art, but that's not what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? You get the little butterfly embellishments. I can't find mine now. Oh, hang on. What have I got in here? Let's have a quick look at my dots. I'm sure I've got in here something. Oh, okay, well, perhaps not this particular colour, because it is a little bit bright, but, you know, something like that. But maybe in a purple or a less bright colour, but that would be quite nice on there too. Or you could make them out of die cuts. I had one a couple of weeks ago that I think Deborah sent me in a swap, and she'd made them out of 2 die cut butterflies, and she had layered on different coloured paper. She'd put some glitter glue on the top. They were really lovely and sparkly, and then she'd layered them one on top of the other, and had stuck the one down but left the other one up, so it was like a slightly, we call it 3D. I don't quite know what you call it now, but it came up off the page. It looked lovely. So that's obviously another alternative idea that you could use. And obviously with this one here, I've simply just done a fabric snippet, and I've just stitched some, just hand sewn that together, stitched some little purple gems on it, and then put a button on there. And there you have it. Simple as that. Nice and easy how to cover your CD case. Okay, thanks for joining me today. Really appreciate you coming back and watching the videos. If you did watch and enjoy and are not already subscribed, if you wouldn't mind subscribing and clicking on the little bell, and then you'll get notifications then when we have new videos coming up. All right, have a great day. Take care, everybody. Bye.